I thought I'd record a little bit of this project I've been working on. You can see I have a stopwatch on my screen and it shows how many hours I've already been working on this. 18 hours and 27 minutes. This is a design group. This is what I've already quilted, and then I just saved these as a pattern and put them on the screen and put it all together. The outer border. Then to fill in these triangles, I use the same pattern as I used in the outer border. It's just larger. This is a four 4-inch squares in this block, and the squares are separated by these little 1-inch sashings, and I used P2P line or geometric line to put those in there. Then I use the diamond, and I made this up into a pattern. It was just a single diamond. It's in the Statler Stitcher patterns, P2P diamond, and then I made it into a pattern with 4 of these diamonds, saved it as a CSQ, and then I can use that in this. This is 1-inch sashing around this. It's a frame. Then the 1-inch sashing in this block to separate it into 4 smaller blocks. This is the same pattern, and this is what she selected as the quilting layout. So I saved this border. All of this is a CSQ, and then I saved this group of rows as a CSQ, and then these blocks as a CSQ. So if I click, you can see that this is all one pattern because it's been saved as a CSQ. Then this group of patterns is one pattern, and this one is the same. So I just did that to be able to put it together, and we could see what everything looks like when it's put together. This group, design group 5, I actually went to File, Import Image, and of course this is the one that is on the Statler Stitcher image file, but I wanted to bring one in that I had made up, so I went to the C drive. I have photos in this folder, and I just went down and found the one I wanted. And this is the close-up of this quilt layout that I did in SAM, and then I saved this as a JPG. So that's what I selected that, and then I imported it. So that's what this is. I had that on the screen so I could go and look at my layout when I got started. There's a group for my larger blocks with the diamond in the frame, and then the dogwood pattern in the large 10 by 10 area in this plain block. This is a group that has the sashing, the strips that divide this into 4 different blocks, and it's the same pattern, the dogwood. And then here's my outer border, which has the small border all the way around, and then this is those triangles that you can see, and go back to design group. See, here's those triangles, and then this, since they're on point, they just fit right in there. This pattern is actually a dogwood half, and these are Lori Thomas's patterns, the dogwood half. Then the geometric line is the Statler Stitcher, and the diamond P2P is the Statler Stitcher patterns. So all of this is how I have been working on this. I'm now working on this row, and I have already put all of these in, and when I do the next row of these, I can show you exactly how I did that. Now I'm in the process of putting all of these patterns in these 4x4, and I have this up to here stitched. So I'm going to do a relocate. I'll just move my machine over to the end of the last pattern that I stitched, and I'll show you how I'm going to do relocate in that. And it's very simple to do. We'll just use this as a getting started this morning, and I can show you exactly how I accomplished all of this. Just I'm going to move my machine to the end point of the last pattern that I stitched in this row. I'll put the needle at the end of the last pattern that was stitched, and I will just do a relocate, shift all to one point, and I'm just going to right click somewhere so I can get my menu, relocate, shift all to one point. The point I want to use is this end of this pattern. I'm going to turn on the end snap and let it just snap to it. And I'll click yes. And it's going to realign all of the patterns in this quilt group only. So there it is. It's all lined up. And I can go and put in the pattern in this area, then here and here. And the reason why I do it this way is I can stitch this block and this block without a tie off. It'll just stitch right on across. So I'm going to do that. And these lines that I put in there, you can see this actually tells you how imperfect the blocks are. See, here's one, and how it goes like this, makes a little jog there. Now sometimes the blocks are very close to perfect, see, like this. And then here's another one where it's a little bit not straight, but that's what she wanted, so that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go and put the patterns in these blocks. So I'll just move my machine up to this corner and make sure that I have the correct pattern selected. Now I don't have to leave my machine to select my pattern, because the upper middle keypad button will let me scroll down through the patterns. I just press it, see it goes down one, the next one, now to the pattern I want, and that's what I want, the P2P diamond. And that is a pattern designed by Lori Thomas, and it's an on-point design. So I'll just line up with that corner, scroll over to P2P, and I have that set for P2P pattern. And I'm clicking the corners, and I'll click stop, which is the lower center button. Then I can click the lower right and the lower right again, lower center to stop. And the lower right, and this time I'm doing those two blocks, so I can just come right on across to the next one. I'll hit stop, and I'm just going to go up to the corner of this next set of blocks. makes it very simple to set this up. We'll exit out of that by holding down the upper right and pressing the lower right. That exits out of the P2P pattern mode. Here we see the blocks that I have set in place, and this block and this block is connected right there in that corner. I just clicked there and there and there. Then I hit stop and then continue on clicking, and every time I get to the end I hit stop. And see, I can quilt all of this. I still have more to go, but I'm going to quilt these out. Then I'll put in more. I have my stopwatch running, and also I have gone to View, and I've turned on the keypad window, which is down here. I don't normally have that on because that's distracting to me, but it serves a purpose because I can show you. This is your cut bob, and I don't use that. This is that select pattern. Upper middle, upper right is the mode, and a single stitch. The lower left, stop in the lower center, select in the lower right, and I'll just show you how all that works. If I want to, right now I want to sew. So the mode button is what takes us through all the different icons of what we can do. And what I want to do is stitch. But as I set this up, I said I could use the upper center to scroll through the patterns, and that's the select pattern in the upper center. So if I click that, it will go to the next pattern down. Then if that's the last pattern, when I click it again, it's going to go to the top pattern, which is the diamond, then the geometric line, the diamond half, then the diamond, P2P, Dagwood diamond, P2P. So that's the one I want to use. And I have all these patterns already in there, so I don't have to put any more patterns in right now. What I want to do, though, is stitch. So if I click the upper right, which is mode, it will take me over. There it is, boundary, pattern to boundary. And then this is the sewing icon, and it says start quilting up there in the upper little bar here, start quilting. And if I press the lower right, that will select that feature. So there it is. Now it went to the start point. It took a stitch. Wants me to pull up the bobbin thread. And when I pull up the bobbin thread, and I'll click the lower right, which is OK, and it'll start stitching. Now you notice as we do all of this, the different buttons change the function. Now the upper left is now increased speed, lower left is decreased speed, lower center is stop, and the upper right is quick pause, and lower right was start. So that's what happens when you do different things. The buttons change what they do.